As you may know, my name's Clare Baker and I'm a former clutterholic and borderline hoarder. I successfully cleared all my clutter over 20 years ago without the need for an expensive home visit. And I've been helping people around the world do exactly the same ever since, so that they too can know what it's like to live a completely clutter-free life forever. As a result of my own experiences with clutter and having worked with clutterholics and hoarders around the world for over 20 years, I know that there are decision-making dilemmas that we face, which, if we don't understand them, will keep us trapped with our clutter. So today I want to talk about one of the decision-making dilemmas that we face when we tell ourselves that we have to keep things because we don't want to waste it. When we hear the word waste, many of us imagine things ending up in a landfill site somewhere, contributing to environmental destruction. I don't want to waste XYZ is a common phrase I hear people. But what exactly do you mean when you're worried about waste? Well, let's get back to basics. So the Oxford Dictionary defines it as the act of using something in a careless or unnecessary way, causing it to be lost or destroyed, to use or expend carelessly, extravagantly, or to no purpose. So when we think about our clutter, we could redefine it as waste. We lose things in our clutter, causing it to be lost. Things may be broken in our clutter, destroyed. And we don't actually use the things in our clutter, to use to no purpose. Yes, you may have kept things in the past because you intended to use them, but you didn't. So between accumulating them in the past and the here and now, you have technically wasted them. I know that seems harsh. I often have people tell me, but when I clear my clutter, I will use it so that I don't waste it. I instantly know that's a statement driven by fear, because if you actually think about it, you're just perpetuating a clutter keeping cycle. If we keep things because we have a fear of wasting them, we need to ask ourselves two questions. First, what is it that we're scared of wasting? Second, is it our fear of waste or someone else's? If we have things in our clutter that we haven't used since they became clutter, then we are technically wasting them. As much as we may have had a good intention to do XYZ with them, for whatever reason, we haven't done XYZ with them. So now you have a choice. Do you continue trying to convince yourself that you still want and need to do XYZ with those things and that you have the time to do XYZ with them? Or do you accept that the time has passed? You don't need to do XYZ with them if you've survived this long without doing XYZ with them, and that realistically, it makes more sense to let go of them. You only have 168 hours a week. You can't find or make more time. You have to spend some of those hours sleeping. Do you really want to use some of those limited hours each week doing XYZ with something that was part of your past and is not going to help you get closer to your clutter-free goal? Or let go and get closer to your clutter-free goal? Just because you could do XYZ doesn't mean you should do XYZ with those things. There are 7 types of waste that we need to be aware of and consider when making decisions about the things in our clutter. So first, financial waste. Now, I don't mean to sound harsh, but the truth is you wasted your money if you bought something you didn't need and didn't use. That financial waste was gone the minute you paid for it. The same applies to the multi-buy offers that will take months or years to actually use up. You may say that you'll only let go if you sell it for what you paid for it to prevent the waste, but the truth is it's only worth what someone is willing to pay. While things sit in your clutter unused, it's financially wasted if it's not being used, sold, or let go of. Unless you need to sell the things in your clutter because you can't pay your essential bills, then let it go and move on. Your priority is to clear your clutter. Second, Resource or environmental waste. Now, many people keep things because they care about the environment and believe that by keeping things and reusing them at some point in the future, they're helping the environment. Wrong. If you're keeping things in your clutter that might come in useful and will save money or resources or the environment in the future, you've actually been keeping them and wasting them because you're not using them. Other people are having to go out and buy new things when they could use the ones that you've got in your clutter. Third, memory waste. People have a huge fear of wasting memories if they let go of things in their clutter, especially if they don't have a great memory themselves. For clutterholics, this is strongly associated with a fear of being forgotten or wanting proof that we existed or did the things that we've done in our life. Yet the memory of those things is wasted if we don't share the memory with others to pass it on. Fourth, time waste. Have you considered the potential time that you could waste in the future if you tried to do everything that you plan to do from the past? We all have only 168 hours in a week. If every item in your clutter took 10 minutes in the present and the future to do what you plan to do with it in the past, how long would it realistically take you to do everything that you had planned to do in the past? Will the world stop turning if you don't do them? Fifth, emotional waste. How much emotion have you already wasted on your clutter? How much time and energy has been spent feeling angry, sad, hurt, guilty, frustrated, resentful because of your clutter? You waste more energy feeling a negative emotion than a positive emotion. Do you really want to keep something that not only do you not need or use, but that also triggers such negative emotions and opens old wounds every time you look at it? No wonder you don't use it and avoid dealing with it. Let it go. The feeling and the thing. Sixth, space waste. You're wasting space by keeping the clutter. Think about it. Waste equals not being used. That dining room isn't being used as a dining room. It's being used as a storage unit. It's wasted space. And finally, inherited waste. Refer to all of the previous types of waste that I've mentioned. Inherited clutter is all these types of waste combined with the added helping of guilt. Let it go and live your life instead of being the caretaker of someone else's life, unless, of course, the emotions and memories are part of your present. If you want to learn how to make decisions, click on the link with this video and start your 7-step journey to your clutter-free life.